CBS This Morning, Forbes magazine reveals its annual list of billionaires. The magazine features 1,810 billionaires around the world. That is down 16 from last year. Those billionaires have a total net worth of almost $6.5 trillion. At number 5, Amazon founder and CEO Jeff Bezos with just over $45 billion. Mexico's telecom mogul Carlos Slim Helú comes in 4th with $50 billion. Holding on to his spot at number 3, investor Warren Buffett with nearly $61 billion. And number 2, Zara co-founder Amancio Ortega of Spain, $67 billion. And Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates is the richest for the 3rd year in a row with $75 billion. Luisa Kroll is the assistant managing editor of Wealth at Forbes. Good morning. So Bill Gates has been number 1 for 17 of the last 22 years. Is that right?
That's right. It's amazing. We've been doing this for 30 years. Only 5 men have made it to the top.
That many times in a row, you mean? Or
no, that's it. There are 5 people that have been number 1 in the world, you know, in part because Gates has been the top for 17 of those 22 years.
Got it.
And I guess Carlos Slim,
Warren Buffett, and then 2 Japanese tycoons back in the heyday when Japanese real estate and the Japanese economy.
If it's not a publicly held company, how do you know?
Well, obviously, the publicly held companies are much easier to value, sure. But we spend hours and hours, days and days. We talk to experts. I personally do a couple of the real estate files. The amount of time you have to talk, because people debate it all the time. We try and be conservative in our numbers, and we try and really factor in as much debt as possible. But you know, it's what somebody's willing to pay for an asset, and you're trying to figure it out by talking to as much.
And Donald Trump?
Donald Trump's at $4.5 billion. He's up a few $100 million from last year. He moves up about 80 spots in the ranks to 324.
That's off from his number. He says his number is higher than that.
10.
Oh, yes.
By a lot.
Yes, by quite a lot. And we, you know, well before he was a candidate, he's been doing the song and dance, trying to inflate his numbers. And in a story we did in the fall, he actually admitted at one point that he'd exaggerated his numbers to Forbes.
We also see 31-year-old Facebook co-founder and CEO Mark Zuckerberg top the top 10 for the first time.
And Jeff Bezos is also in the top 10 for the first time. Zuckerberg was actually the year's biggest gainer. He was up over $11 billion. He really did have the best year on the planet.
And that's because Facebook stock did so well.
And he's clearly the youngest.
Well, he's the youngest in the top 10.
Yeah, right.
We actually have a huge class of young billionaires. We have 66 that are under the age 40, and 36 of those actually have made their own fortunes.
How many under 30?
That's a good question.
Michael Bloomberg is number 8 on the list. How does his wealth compare with Donald Trump's?
Oh, he's worth a lot more. He's worth $40 billion, and Donald Trump is worth $4.5 billion.
How many of these billionaires get their money out of tech?
I think it's about a little over 20%.
Oh, that's lower than I would have thought.
Yeah, but, you know, I think it's in part because it's still up and coming. You see a lot more of the kind of the young self-made folks. They're almost all in tech. In fact, half of the newcomers, I believe, from that group made their money in unicorns. And so it's very volatile. We'll see how many of those actually stay in the ranks for years to come.
190 women.
190 women, which is down from 197.
Is Lillian Bettencourt the...
Yes,
L'Oreal. L'Oreal, yeah.
L'Oreal.
She's about 90 now.
Yes, yes. And at some point she'll pass along her fortune to her daughter. So she hasn't been obviously doing much. There were issues about her mental status, a big feud over that money a number of years ago.
Big lawsuit over there.
But unfortunately, not that many self-made women, only 33, a very, very small number, and hopefully we'll see those.
Who's the top among that?
It's a Chinese woman named Zhu Confei. She makes the glass cases for your smartphones and your tablets. Totally self-made. Exactly. Like, she took her company public last year. She's worth $5.3 billion.
Nora's looking for ideas.
Oh, I know.
I'm looking for ideas. Gail's looking for a husband.
Exactly.
There's a lot on this list that we enjoy. Luisa Kroll, thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah.